What is going on, guys? In this video we're doing a comparison of the LG G Watch R smartwatch up against the Moto 360 smartwatch. Now both of the smartwatches actually have a physical button on the side which serves one of three purposes depending on how you use it. Simply tapping it will turn the screen on, pressing and holding it for a few seconds will bring you to the system settings menu, and holding it even longer than that will turn the device off or on. And of course you can change the straps with any standard watch strap. Now the strap on the Watch R is rather difficult to put on and take off, especially when you first get out of the box. Now with a bit of wear and tear and usage pretty much every day, it does get a bit looser, but it's still rather stiff. And the same thing could be said about the 360 strap when it got out of the box, but after some wear and tear it became a lot more looser than it did with the Watch R, and it's far more easier to take off and put on. Now one subject that's going to cause a lot of debate is which watch has the better appearance, or more stylish, or even if you want, which one has the better appeal overall. The Watch R has the unique ability of making it look casual or very stylish. So whether I'm going to the gym or if I'm going to a banquet hall party that requires me to wear a suit and a tie, it pretty much can match what the feel I'm looking for. And it's not easy to pull that off. I have to mention that the Watch R does a great job of doing that. Not only that, there are a ton of watch faces built inside the watch. Now before I get into the specifics of the 360, I want to put both watches next to each other, and you'll notice that the Watch R is a bit bulkier, especially when it comes to the faceplate part of it, whereas the 360 is a bit more slender and classy looking, just the physical component of it. But let's switch over to the digital part. The 360 does not have a lot of watch faces built into it. In fact, it's kind of embarrassing how little watch faces there are built inside, but with its Connect Android app on your smartphone, you can actually customize the watch faces a little bit with the colors and some pictures if the watch face supports it. So while it doesn't even have half the amount of watch faces the Watch R has built in, it has the advantage of being able to customize a watch face just a little bit. But the argument of which one has the better watch faces is kind of thrown out the door with the recent Android Wear Lollipop update. You see, now people have the ability to download watch faces from the Google Play Store, and these watch faces can be applied to the Moto 360 or the Watch R, and there's going to be a ton available in the coming time. Looking at the time or notification on both watches is equally easy, as you both have three methods to accomplish it. One is to simply raise your wrist naturally as if you would with a normal watch, and the screen will automatically turn on. Or you can press the side physical button on either watch, or simply tap the touch screen. Now going with the screen technology, the Watch R has a p-oled 1.3 inch screen with a resolution of 320 by 320. Whereas the Moto 360 has a larger screen at 1.56 inches, it's a backlit LCD screen with a resolution of 320 by 290 and is protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 3. You'll notice that the Moto 360 screen in terms of measurement, as I mentioned, is bigger, but it looks almost the same side. That's because the LG G Watch has this massive bezel with the minute dials on the side, which doesn't rotate, by the way. Now in terms of general screen comparison, the Moto 360 can get brighter than the Watch R when you set its brightness. Not only that, the Moto 360 has the capability of having an auto brightness function enabled. You'll see that black bar at the bottom of the 360. That's actually where the housing of the sensor for the auto brightness sensor is located, whereas the Watch R does not have auto brightness built in. Either way, you don't really need the auto brightness, to be honest. On the lowest brightness setting on both watches, they both perform great in sunlight and in indoor lighting. It's relatively easy to see each screen. Now when it comes to the always on screen function, you'll notice that the Moto 360 is having a tough time of doing it. It has an ambient screen setting instead. So if you plan to have the screen on non-stop, which that option is available with the Watch R, the Moto 360 doesn't really have that option available, which might be unfortunate for some people, although it does drain battery a lot faster. In terms of color pop, both of them look great. I have to say they both look equal. Now when it comes to screen clarity, the LG G Watch R is better. It's still easy to look at the screen of the 360, but you notice that some of the dials and numbers have these kind of jaggedy lines, a bit of pixelation if you will, whereas the Watch R doesn't have that problem. The second most important thing compared to being able to read notifications in time is of course the battery. Now the Watch R has a 410 milliamp battery, which averages about 2 days of usage, and it has a docking cradle for charging, and of course it is magnetic, so there's no fear of the watch falling off that easily off its charger, in case it's on a diagonal surface. Now the 360 is advertised as having a 320 milliamp battery, which is very small compared to the Watch R, but it's actually the cause for a lot of debate over false advertisement, as some people have actually torn the watch apart and discovered that it's actually not written inside its 320 milliamp battery. So it's actually up for a lot of debate if the battery is actually even that size. Not only that, in terms of the general watch performance, in terms of the battery life, you're getting about a day and a half average. Now after recent updates, most considerably the Android Wear Lollipop update, I'm getting about a day and 3/4 maximum with average use. It doesn't even come close to the performance of the Watch R. Now in terms of its charging, it is rather unique as it does support wireless Qi charging, and when placed on its charging dock, it actually looks really cool as the screen dims to accommodate you in case you're sleeping and use it as a clock. For alerts, both devices do not have sound output, rather you are notified about alerts via vibration. Not only that, both devices are also IP67 certified, which means they're water resistant up to 1 meter for 30 minutes. Now if you're like me, you'll be interested to know that both devices are powered by Android Wear operating system with the recent Lollipop update. Now in terms of the internal parts, both of them have 4 gigs of internal storage, but with no option of external storage. Both of them also have 512 megabytes of RAM. Now the key difference is in the processor. The Watch R has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 400 processor clocked at 1.2 GHz. Let me just say that it's an extremely responsive device. This thing handles awesome. It's able to go through notifications and watch faces with ease. Not only that, the Watch R also has a built-in heart rate sensor as well as the Moto 360. And just generally speaking, this is a fantastic experience for a smartwatch. Whereas the same can't really be said about the Moto 360. Now keep careful attention to my swiping gestures here. I'll be swiping like crazy, but it just won't really respond. It won't move anywhere. And that's mainly because its processor is more than 2 years old. It's this Texas Instrument OMAP 3 processor, which is not that great. Now it doesn't mean it's horrible, but it does have its certain lags here and there. If you do get the smartwatch, be sure to update the software as soon as possible. The update will make it a little bit better, but it's not as fluid as the Watch R and it does stutter and lag here and there. Now let's wrap up the comparison with arguably the two best looking smartwatches on the market right now. The LG G Watch R has a very unique ability of looking stylish or casual. So I could feel comfortable taking it to the gym if I change it to a certain watch face or a club, or I can take it to a suit and tie event, again simply by changing the watch face. It's that easy. That's not exactly an easy feat, but LG has accomplished it. Not only that, in terms of general performance, it has a better battery than the Moto 360 by a huge amount. It has a better processor. Its processing and responsiveness is a lot more fluid than that of the 360. And of course the screen is a little bit sharper. The one true downside of the Watch R is of course a stiff strap. Even after wear and tear and everyday use, the strap did become looser than it did out of the box, but it's still very stiff and annoying to take off and put on at times. The Moto 360 of course is stylish 24/7. It's not really a bad thing, but it's not exactly the type of watch you would wear to, say, a gym, for example. It would look weird, and it would feel weird. Not only that, the screen is kind of cut off at the bottom for an auto brightness sensor, which I find bizarre. I'm not sure why a smartwatch would need an auto brightness sensor. Although the 360 has the advantage that it supports wireless Qi charging, and the strap is a lot looser so it's easier to put on and take off. However, it seems that LG took their time designing the LG G Watch R, whereas the 360 has become the victim of its own hype, and a lot of people are very loyal to it, even despite its poor performance in terms of battery and responsiveness. And the problem with this processor and the responsiveness lagging with the 360 is that when it comes to further Android Wear updates, it might not last as long in the long run as the LG G Watch R might. But you can leave your own opinion in the comments section as to what you think about that. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up the comparison here. If you found that video useful, be sure to check out my Facebook, Google+, Twitter links in the video description, as well as their individual video reviews of each watch, also in the video description. Hit the like button, it does help, subscribe, and thanks for watching.